I remember the first step we ever took toward each other. It was subtle, like the hush before a song begins, that slight intake of breath before everything changes. You weren't even looking at me at first, but the air around us shifted, as if the world paused just long enough for me to memorize your silhouette. I wasn't searching for love that day, only trying to stay upright in the whirlwind of life. But then you were there, grounding me in a way I didn't know I needed. And without even speaking, you said, "Follow me." You extended something invisible, yet entirely undeniable, an invitation to feel again, to trust again. And I, without hesitation, followed. We didn't just meet, we collided across galaxies of fate, drawn together by cords only our hearts could hear. And from that very moment, I knew our love wouldn't walk, it wouldn't run. It would dance through time, through chaos, through everything we were and everything we'd become. You taught me how to sway between seconds, how to pirouette through pain. With your hand in mine, every heartbreak that once echoed through me turned to music. Time folded like silk between us. We laughed with our whole bodies like joy had roots in our bones. I began to see the world through your eyes, and suddenly, even silence had color. The city streets became stages, and even the rain felt choreographed, as if it knew we needed a soundtrack for every kiss we stole beneath umbrellas. You'd spin me in the kitchen when the kettle whistled, hold me like the world outside didn't exist, and every time you looked at me, I felt like the only person who had ever been seen completely. It wasn't just the romance, it was the rhythm, the deep, unshakable beat that seemed to pulse in our chests when we breathed the same air. Loving you didn't feel like learning, it felt like remembering steps I always knew, in a dance choreographed by the stars. We've danced through arguments too, through moments when we stepped on each other's hearts by mistake. But even then, there was music underneath the misunderstanding. Sometimes the tempo slowed, heavy and uncertain, but we never stopped moving. I watched you in those moments, the way you held space for my anger, the way you didn't retreat, even when I tried to push you away. That is love, isn't it? Not just the gliding through joy, but the stumbling through storms with steady feet. And oh, how gracefully you carry your patience. I was always fire, you rain. Not the kind that drenches, but the kind that soothes, that nourishes the parched parts of my soul. When I shut down, you waited. When I screamed, you listened. When I fell, you caught me and then taught me how to leap again. Our love didn't just dance through sunlight. It danced through darkness too, waltzed through shadows, and never missed a beat. Sometimes I wonder how many lifetimes we've spun through together. Were you the stranger who once passed me in a library centuries ago? The soldier I kissed goodbye on a cobbled street in Paris? The artist I painted in Florence without ever speaking? My soul recognizes yours the way a melody recognizes its chorus. There is something eternal about the way we love, something ancient in your eyes when they find mine. When we touch, I swear I hear echoes, notes from another era, rhythms from long before now. Perhaps we've always been dancers. Perhaps we've always met in the middle of music, in the center of chaos, and said, "You, always you." And this time, this brief, beautiful chapter in time, is just another chance to remember each other again, to press palms together and spin under this sky, as if we are making up for the centuries we couldn't hold on. This life is ours to remember, and I choose to remember you in every second we share. You've never asked me to be anything other than myself. You let me unravel, and instead of fearing my tangled threads, you wove them into something strong. You read my silence like poetry, translated my fears without judgment. When I couldn't speak, you waited for my melody to return, and when it did, you danced beside it like it was your favorite song. There's something unspeakably beautiful about that, the way you let me be. You never clipped my wings. Instead, you built me a sky, and in doing so, we soared together. Not always high. Sometimes we drifted, sometimes we fell, but always we flew. I never have to shrink beside you, never have to quiet my laughter, dim my spark, or pretend to be less. With you, I expand. With you, I glow. And that kind of love, it changes everything. It's a dance no one teaches you, but once you feel it, you never forget the steps. We've grown through seasons, leaves falling, snow whispering down, blossoms returning with promise. Each season we danced a little differently. In spring, our love was light, curious, new. We danced through puddles, wrote sonnets in soil with bare feet. In summer, it was wild and fiery. Moonlight swims, tangled sheets, and the taste of your breath in mine. Autumn brought reflection, a quieter rhythm, slower spins. We learned to hold space for change. And winter was survival and warmth. Cocoa by the fire, hands searching in the cold, finding home in the heat of each other. I love every version of us. I love how our steps evolve without losing their essence. We age, we shift, we adapt, but we always return to that sacred beat, the one only we know, the one that plays between heartbeats when everything else fades. You and me, still dancing, even in silence we move. On days when words are too heavy, when the world closes in, and our feet drag from fatigue, you still reach for my hand. We may not twirl, but we breathe together, and that is a dance in itself, a stillness that sings. There's such a sacred intimacy in simply being, in brushing fingers as we pass each other in the kitchen, in sharing a glance that says, I'm still here, I still choose you. And that's what love becomes over time, less about grand gestures and more about the rhythm of presence. You taught me that love doesn't always crescendo. Sometimes it's a hum in the background, a heartbeat at rest, a quiet step side by side. You taught me to find music even in the mundane, to cherish the sway of everyday moments, and in doing so you made life itself feel like a symphony. When you laugh, I swear the sun leans closer. It's the sound that parts clouds, the echo that lingers longer than any melody. I live for that laugh, the one that bubbles up when I least expect it, the one that makes me forget every shadow. You wear joy like a second skin, and when I'm with you, I do too. We've made each other better. Not in the way fairy tales pretend to fix people, but in the way real love polishes what's already there. You hold up a mirror, and in it I see someone I want to keep becoming. Someone brave, someone whole. I don't know if I believed in forever before you. Time always felt too fragile, like one gust could shatter everything. But now, forever doesn't scare me. Because I've seen what it looks like, not as a distant promise but as a daily choice. And I choose you. In this moment. In every moment. Forever isn't far. It's right here, dancing with us. Do you remember the night we danced without music? Just us and the city lights outside the window. Your hands on my waist, my head on your shoulder, and nothing playing but the breath between us. I never felt more alive. That moment lives in me like a secret garden I visit when the world gets loud. And that's what you are to me. A place to return to. A quiet rhythm in a chaotic world. The one constant note in every changing chord. I never have to question us, even when we disagree, even when life throws off our tempo. I know we'll find our way back. Because love like this, it doesn't fade, it adapts, it learns new dances, and we are eternal students of each other's souls. Each day a new step, each night a fresh waltz. We are a masterpiece in motion, unfinished and endlessly beautiful. Sometimes I wonder what we'll be like years from now. Will your hair be silver, your eyes still dancing with the mischief I fell in love with? Will our hands wrinkle from time but still find each other in the dark? I believe they will. I believe we'll still dance, maybe slower, maybe with more sighs than spins. But we'll still move together, and when we can't stand we'll sway from our chairs, fingers entwined, hearts still remembering the rhythm that began when we were young. I imagine you humming under your breath, and me teasing you for forgetting the lyrics again, but the melody will still be ours, because love, when it's true, becomes muscle memory. Even when the mind forgets, the body remembers, and I will always remember you, not just in my mind but in my skin, my soul, my every breath. I want to thank you, for every dance, every stumble, every moment you stayed when it would have been easier to go, for showing me that real love isn't perfect, it's persistent, it's learning new steps when the music changes, it's leading and following in equal measure, it's choosing each other again and again, and if I had to live 1,000 lives, I'd find you in each one. I'd cross time, distance and memory, just to take your hand once more. You are my rhythm, my anchor, my flight. With you, love is not a destination, it's a dance that never ends. So let's keep moving, you and I. Let's let the years carry us, but never lose the beat. And when the final note fades, may our souls rise in duet, still swaying, still laughing, still wildly in love. And so here we are, still dancing, still dreaming, still daring to love as if time were just a backdrop to our story. The music may change, but our steps remain written in something deeper than sound, in the language of heartbeats, glances and the spaces where words dare not go. You are my favorite song, my endless refrain. And if this is the last breath I take, let it be with your name on my lips and your heartbeat in my arms, because I have danced with you through time, and I would do it all again.